My name is Ismail. I'm a normal child from a normal family. I am 15 years old. I like rap and hip hop, especially in live concerts. I also have a young sister, the tiny one. She is 4 years old, and she's always around my mother. My dad says the tiny one has mommy addiction. My mother works as chambermaid, but my father in a bank. We are quite a normal family. At times, my mother reminds me that I have to contribute to the household duties, help her to make the beds and set the table and all those things because my father does not help her at all. My mother always complains about not having time after work. She has to collect the tiny one from candy, prepare dinner and wash the dishes. She ends up washing up our clothes at night because she hasn't got enough time during the day. When my father comes back from the bank, he goes out with his friends to play a paddle game or to watch football in the house of my uncle Antonio. He also tells me constantly about the need to be egalitarian. Egalitarian? But if the girls from Spain are much better off than us, you cannot speak loudly at them, otherwise they say that you are harassing them. If you check their mobile phones, they accuse you of being an invader or a chauvinist, and they wear provocative clothes, but you cannot tell them anything about it without them calling you a male chauvinist. And then, later on, after a couple of beers, they are all over you. And that is not being provocative, is it? Sure. When I had my first girlfriend, I always used to let her walk in first, and I used to open the door for her as egalitarian and respectful young males do, and she used to love that. But later, she would get angry with me whenever I suggested she should wear a more modest dress or if I look into her mobile phone without her permission. Why wouldn't I check who is sending her messages and especially what type of friends she has in internet? It is for her own good, even though she couldn't understand it at all. Woman, you know. Obviously, I left her. My father says he is not a male chauvinist or a feminist, but he cannot tolerate that the director of his office is a woman and that she gives him orders. Besides, she is a historical woman who is just in that position because she is a woman and she doesn't know how to manage a bank branch. My father always says a woman's place in the kitchen, and my mother always gets angry with him. Girls from Spain live like queens, not like my internet friend Russia. She lives in Afghanistan. She can only use the internet in the house of an older female friend, because she will be locked for many weeks if her parents find out. Russia is 15 years old, like me. She doesn't study. She tells me in her country girls do not need to study. They only need to get ready to get the bad husband. Russia will get married in a few months. Her father has chosen her a husband and she has only seen him in photos. It is hard to believe, getting married at 15 years old. Where Russia lives, they certainly treat girls badly. There, they do not have equality. They would love to be like the girls from Spain. Russia is happy because once she gets married, she will be taken care of, but she will not be able to dress as she wishes. Women there are like men's possession. They treat them like little girls even when they are old. My friend Russia explained to me that women are much worse in countries like the south of Sudan, where her friend Nayara lives. She says that there you have 85% possibilities to be raped if you are a girl or a woman. It is always much worse where there is a war, but of course that only happens in other parts of the world, not here in Spain, where women do have more equality than men. The things my friend Russia tells me do not happen here.
I was one of those students from Lanzarote who participated in the project Educating in Equal Justice. Our school was the first one to implement this program, and after us, all of the other schools from Spain followed. They even applied it in other countries around the world. Thanks to the success of this program, changes were made to the Spanish educational plan. Not only did they include the program in the school curriculum, but they also made sure that children and young adults of both genders had access to the educational system on an equal footing and without learning restrictions for anyone. They deliver specific subjects on the values of equality, using an inclusive language, making women visible throughout all of history, something that had never been done before in textbooks. 10 years after the Spanish educational change, there were less sexist ads because there was no interest in them. The lyrics of the songs stopped promoting violence, and gradually the use of language also made women visible. And most important of all, the statistical indicators of gender violence dropped dramatically, and fewer women were murdered. I realized that what I believed back then to be a normal family and an egalitarian country was not the case. My mother, my father, my music, the television, they were all a very important influence in the way in which I viewed women. For many years, they contributed to my distorted vision of what I thought to be equality. Now, I know how wrong I was, thanks to the education that I received. This allowed me to see what was not normal, preventing me from becoming another unconscious complex of sexist discrimination and violence.